What is the most inoffensive thing you've seen someone get offended by? One time someone got offended when I put on my seatbelt, thought I was commenting on her ability to drive. Maybe 22 years ago, I had a phone interview with a baking company. I didn't care to have my peers know what I was up to, so I took the call on my cell phone in my car. The call was crystal clear and no technical issues. At one point, they had mentioned the weather and asked how it was where I was. I told him that I was sitting in my car and I could see that it was actively snowing and whatnot. The interviewer asked me, "Are you taking this call on a cell phone?" I told him I was. Then he asked me if I thought that was appropriate. I asked him what he meant by that. He said he thought it was kind of rude to take a formal call on a cell phone. I told him I would be more than happy to conclude the interview if talking on a cell phone was an issue. If he was interested, I'd be happy to continue it the next day when I'd be at a desk. He again repeated how rude he thought it was that I had called from a cell phone and that there was no need to continue the interview process.
I disagreed with the first point but did agree with the second. To this day, I wonder what the hell he was talking about and where he was coming from.
I had a co-worker who got mad at me because I asked her not to tickle me. A. That's inappropriate at work. B. We're not children, we're not in a relationship, we're not family. C. I don't like being tickled. She flipped out and said everyone likes being tickled and I was being mean to her. Happily my boss had my back.
I worked at a restaurant and we put up some Halloween decorations. We had to take them all down when someone found the glittery skull decoration offensive.
I got in trouble in kindergarten for saying the word dead. Apparently it was too violent. When I was a child, my mom paid for something with a check. The cashier remarked that my mom had nice handwriting. My mom flew off the handle, and we had to storm out of the shop in outrage. To this day, I have no idea what happened.
The guy who got offended in a council meeting because someone used the term black hole. Edit, found a video.
The pics are short lava. He walked out saying it was deeply offensive and didn't explain why.
I told my sister in a PM that it's first not one RSD after she posted something on Facebook with a spelling error. She flipped out saying how I'm a bully and I need to appreciate that her spelling is more unique. Edit, she's 27. There was a post on Reddit a while back. Maybe Ida? A guy was dating a girl who lost her shit because he said flame retardant, and apparently retardant was a terribly offensive word. I think about that post a lot. Maybe someone can link it.
The Canadian flag told me that if they put up a Canadian flag in PA, the neighbors would come and shoot everybody. Not quite sure about the logic on that one. While working tech support back during the dot-com boom, I had a customer to get upset with me over the use of the word icon. He said it had religious implications and he insisted I call Windows icons little picture things. A sandwich. I kid you not. My ex-husband was given a sandwich by our then 13-years-old daughter, and because she cut the sandwich, he went off on a massive strop about how his sandwiches should never be cut, etc. The poor kid's face. She was crushed. It still winds me up no end every time I think about it. This is within a year after the DADT repeal. Part of the repeal was that, obviously, you can't make fun of people for their sexual preference. So calling people gay was out. Was getting directions to a co-worker's house. He lived on Gay Street. Our supervisor got belligerent about how we can't say that, even after explaining how it was the street name. I once listened to my boss try to lecture the fire marshal because he was talking about something being flame retardant. Her reasoning was you should just call it fireproof because retardant was an awful word. It was one of those times where I really should have tried to stop her, but instead I just stood off to the side, probably making a surprised Pikachu face. When I worked in customer service. Yes ma'am. Don't you ma'am me. Don't you fucking mam me, you piece of shit. Quote. This. Professor Greg Patton at the University of Southern California, USC, was telling students in a communications lecture last month about filler, or pause words, such as or, you know, in English. Footage of his lecture, which has now gone viral, shows Professor Patton saying, in China, the common pause word is that. So in China, it might be na ji enunciated. Na ji sounds like the N-word, which led several of the professor's students to complain to the university. Responding to the complaint, the dean of the university, Jeffrey Garrett, told students that Professor Patton would no longer be teaching the course. It is simply unacceptable for the faculty to use words in class that can marginalize, hurt and harm the psychological safety of our students, he said. The university says that Professor Patton volunteered to step away from his role amid the investigation into complaints made against him. This is the stupidest thing to get offended over that I've seen in quite a while, and damaging to actual cases of racist terminology being used inappropriately. I was at the vet with my cat and he sneezed. This was apparently very offensive to an elder woman. She was there with a corgi, and she started screaming at me for about 30 minutes about pet hygiene. I am a disabled person. My life sucks because of my disability, and no longer being able to do the things I used to love makes me quite depressed sometimes. Some asshole tried to lecture me about how I was ableist for wishing there was a cure for my disability. Fuck me for not enjoying being in constant pain and possibly ending up in a wheelchair in the future, I guess. A fucking picture of an eye. We have an organization-wide theme every year and all the PCs on our network have the same background and theme which can't be changed. So this year's theme is Vision is 2020, and the background was a zoomed-in picture of an eye in really awesome colors. 2 women on staff wrote letters to complain that the picture was heathen as it drew from Illuminati imagery and paid tribute to the all-seeing eye of Egyptian deities. They whined and complained to such an extent that the picture was eventually changed to shut them up and let the normal folks get back to our actual work.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.